Howdy folks, Rob Maximum, whoa, bright light, Rob Maximum RD here, and I was just on Facebook and I saw a posting for the Video Game Critic. If you've ever been to his website of reviews, I quite like his style. Just small reviews with pictures and his views on video games, including tons of classic video games. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I noticed a post by him on Facebook saying how he had just posted his 2 reviews on NES, the original 8-bit Nintendo system, Tetris. Now, as most of you are aware, there were 2 versions of Tetris. There was the NES version, and there was the Tengen, or Tengen, however you prefer to pronounce it. I've always said Tengen. Version of Tetris. Now, Tengen released several games, not with the blessings of Nintendo. I believe, if I recall correctly, they actually circumvented their copy protection and released games on the NES. I don't know if they were avoiding the licensing fees or what have you, having to pay Nintendo, but long story short, Nintendo got their version of Tetris banned or blocked or pulled or what have you, and to this day that makes the Tengen version harder to find and worth a little bit of money, especially if you are lucky enough to find a complete inbox copy in good condition. And I'm quite happy that I played it back in the day, and this is the point of my video. Just a memory came back to me, and it was kind of a funny story, an odd story. And nowadays, when I have a memory like this, I should probably just post it right away while it's still fresh in my head, because I won't remember it later. But as soon as I read about these 2 versions of Tetris on this post here, it came back to me instantly, because it was such a strong memory because of what happened. And what happened was, I was younger back in the day when this version of Tetris came out. We had a fairly local store. I had to travel a little bit to get to it, but it was one of the few places that, I as a young person, without really the means of having a credit card or anything like that, the guy was actually pretty cool who ran the store, and basically, if you brought in enough proof of where you lived and stuff like that, even if you were underage, you could rent and play video games. So that was great for me. And I noticed one day this version of Tetris, and I looked at the box and I thought, wow, this looks really good. And again, it was by Tengen, and I took it home, loved it, thought it was great, and I rented it a few times. I really enjoyed their version of it. I can't recall if I was even aware of a Nintendo version at that time, or if it was already out at that time. I can't recall. But what I do know is at some point I had heard through the grapevine of friends, basically in school. It wasn't so much online or anything like that, if there was even that kind of information online. If there wasn't online, I can't even remember. But beyond bulletin boards and BBSs, but somehow I had gotten word that the game had gotten pulled and was no longer basically a legal game to be sold or anything like that. And that's not really the odd part. What the odd part was, I immediately, upon hearing this, decided to go back to this retailer, this rental store, video game store, and my thinking was, well, what he usually did, any game that you rented, you could actually purchase for a fairly decent price. He was quite fair, you could trade for games, something like 2 for 1 or whatever. So, I mean, he was doing good. It was a rental business. But pretty much any 2 Nintendo games you could trade in to get one of theirs, and or if you happen to have money. I didn't have a lot of money back in those days, but if you had the money, you could get it for a really good price. He would look at how much it had rented, subtract it, somehow figure it out and subtract some profit that he had made from it, and basically you paid the difference and you could buy the game for a good price. So I raced back to the store upon hearing the news of this version getting basically pulled off shelves, and hoping to get it. And here's the odd part, and here's the funny memory and why it sticks in my mind to this day. I went in, and we had a pretty good rapport up to then. Like I was there all the time, always renting games, and I would bring them back early sometimes because maybe I didn't like the game. He'd let me take another. He didn't charge me another rental fee and stuff like that. But that day was very odd because I went in and I just, of course, looked for the box on the wall for Tengen Tetris, and it wasn't there. Okay, so I kind of played it cool. I walked up to the counter and was like, hey, do you have that Tetris game? And he's like, Tetris? I'm like, yeah, for the Nintendo, the NES, 8-bit system. Well, I probably didn't give that much detail. I just said your Nintendo game at the time. And he's like, oh, no, we don't have that. I was like, okay. Did you sell it? No, we don't have that. All right. Did you sell it? Trade it? Is the game something wrong with it? No, we don't have it. We've never had it. I was like, what are you talking about? I've rented it. No, you didn't. I was like, so at this point I'm thinking he's just joking, right? Like he's playing a game with me. But then I noticed he was getting defensive about it. Like he was insisting that they never had that version of Tetris, that I never rented it, and pretty much he knew nothing about it. And it just always struck me as odd. Now, I don't know how the whole thing went when they pulled it off shelves. Personally, I'm guessing, and this is my guess, is he pulled the game off the shelf, reboxed it, and I think he put it away for his own collection purposes and just denied everything. Because I believe that most retailers, now, he wasn't carrying it for sale. He had already purchased the game, but I don't know how it worked. I don't know what the legalities were, or the rules were with Nintendo or anything, why you couldn't rent that game. I would think you could still rent the game. So I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure if I had to guess, guys can tell me what you think, that he just took the game knowing that it was, it had been pulled and recalled or whatever. I think he took the game, just put it away for his own personal collection, and just wanted to deny that it was ever there. Other than that, I'm not too sure about his reasoning for acting the way he was acting. I mean, I looked at it as if it was me running the store, I'd be like, yeah, man, well, Nintendo doesn't want us. Nintendo recalled it and they don't want us selling it or whatever. So, I took it. I'm going to keep it in my collection. Maybe he was a paranoid type of person and he felt that was not a good idea to say that or something, but it was just odd. It was a strange memory. Excuse me, losing my voice a bit. And it just popped in my head and I thought I'd share it with you. And on that subject, I thought, here's, we can make a tag of this, I suppose, an open tag, as all my tags are. Do you have any odd video game memories? I would say more, toward the classic video games, if possible. And if you have any strange stories like that, I'm sure I have a few more odd stories, strange stories regarding video games back in the day, and maybe as they come to mind I'll post some more. But in the meantime, if you have any strange stories, odd stories, weird things that happened concerning video games back in the day, let me know in the comments, or do a video response. That would be even more awesome. And that's it. So my little odd story. Rob Maximum RD out before I start coughing. Talk to you later. Bye.